Hello everyone, it's Kim and welcome back to my channel and welcome to what is going to be a pretty massive unhaul, massive declutter of the bookshelves. Life has gotten just a little chaotic. I'm overwhelmed and so I've been kind of decluttering here and there. It's possible that we're moving and so I'm just decluttering to get a jump start on that as well, just in case. And today is the book decluttering day. So I am following the KonMari method, kind of. I'm not like taking everything off the shelves. I might do that a little bit, but I'm not like piling everything. I'm going little by little, but I am kind of like doing, is it sparking joy? Does the plot still sound good to me? Do I get good vibes when I'm holding this book? Is it my reading taste now? With that in mind, I did set some parameters for myself for how much I want to declutter off of this particular shelf, which is my physical TBR. I do have a couple other shelves of physical TBR that are more of like my ARCs, my physical ARCs, my book box books, those kinds of items. My goal for 2025 was to half my physical TBR. So what I'm going to try to do today is a step towards that goal, and I'm going to try and unhaul 25% of my physical TBR and see if there's any on there that I just like to pass on to other readers and go from there. So 25% of the physical TBR, that includes ARCs, book box books, anything that I have not read that I possibly don't think I'm going to or I'm just not interested in is coming off these shelves today. 330 unread books physically. These are my physical TBR. So if I'm going to declutter 25%, I am looking at decluttering or unhauling 83 books and keeping 247. That is the numbers. That's the number game here. 330 down to 247, which seems like a lot. So it's gonna be a journey today. I have done all of my clothes declutter. That is the first thing in the KonMari method that you do is clothes, and I have done that. I got rid of 5 bags of clothes. Over 100 items are gone. Actually, they're not gone. They're sitting in trash bags over there, but donation is coming to pick them up. But they are gone. They're done. And I feel really good about it. So I'm feeling that like good energy from a good declutter, and I'm hoping I can bring that to these shelves today and be really rigid and confident in getting rid of books, because I know I'm not going to read some of these that are on the shelves and I'd rather pass them on to somebody who will. What I'm going to be asking myself is, am I excited to read this book now? Do I want to pick up this book right now and read it? If not, does the summary still interest me to the extent that I want to keep it on my shelf? And I'm thinking for a time frame, like, will I read it in the next 6 to 9 months? I'm doing 9 just because that kind of includes like the fall time, and so I do have a lot of like fall-ish books, so I'm probably not gonna want to get rid of those because those are my like, I love a good cozy fall read. I'm also gonna be thinking along the lines of books that I have bought where I've bought like the first 2 in the series. I'm contemplating unhauling the sequels, the second books, because I don't even know if I like the first book. If I'm not going to plan to read the first book in the next few months, there's no point in me keeping book 2 when I could easily go get it from the library. And if something doesn't speak to me now that I might want to read later, I'm contemplating just making a list and I will pick it up from the library or on Libby down the line. I'm being ruthless. I'm going to be ruthless, and I really want to get this TBR done. And now I feel like I'm rambling, which is just me going into like procrastination mode of really getting started on this, but we're gonna do it. So I'm gonna go grab a drink because I'm gonna need some either coffee or some kind of beverage to get through this, but we're gonna start. We're gonna see what I can unhaul off of these shelves, so let's go ahead and get started. Alright, I am back. I have my drink. I got a little chai here from the Chai Box. It is a local mom and son business in Georgia, and so good. Love it. It's a chai concentrate. It's absolutely delicious. But besides that, that's what I'm drinking. what I'm going to do, I think, first is pull the books I am most excited about reading and get them off of this shelf. That way what's left is maybe the ones that I need a little bit more of a think on. So I'm going to remove books that I know I'm going to enjoy or I want to read soon, and then we'll really dig into the ones that I am not sure about. I think that is going to be my first step, is pulling off the books I am excited about. So I'm going to go do that, and I will be right back. I want to read this one. I want to read this. Which read I would like to read. I want to read all my romance still. I don't know where I'm going to put any of these. Insatiable, yes. Witch's Guide to Dating a Demon, yes. I'm going to start right off the bat with something that is going to make a lot of people mad at me. I am not unhauling this book because I do not want to read the series. I want to probably read it down the line, but I can easily get it from the library, and this book has been just sitting on my shelf for ages and I have not read it yet. Would I like to read all of Rick Riordan's books? Absolutely, because they do sound amazing, but I just haven't, and I think it's because there's so many that's just a very daunting, overwhelming task. So the first book that I'm going to be unhauling is The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan, the first book in the Percy Jackson series. I have seen the show. I absolutely love the show. I know it's much more true than the movie, which in its own right, as a standalone movie, if it didn't have a book series, I enjoyed. I hadn't read the book, so I did enjoy that movie. For those of people I know who have read the book, hated that movie. The show is fantastic. I've heard it follows the books a lot better, and I did enjoy it. So I would like to read all these books, but it's not going to be anytime soon. So I am taking it off my shelf and taking all of those that book series, all of the sequel series off of my plate. So The Lightning Thief is the first book to go, and I'm sorry, don't hate me. So this next book I am unhauling is actually a book I have read, and I don't know if I maybe at the time thought I was going to reread it, but I'm probably not, and I think it'd be interesting to send it out into the world and see how other people like it. So this is What We See When We Read by Peter Mendelssohn. It was in, I think, a Book Riot box a long time ago. It has little annotations in it by the author and everything. So I think I'm going to send this one out into the world and let other readers enjoy this book. So What We See When We Read by Peter Mendelssohn is also being unhauled. So book 2 of the Unhaul. I have a stack of 8 books. These are, one's a duology, the others are the first 2 books in the series. And I was talking about how I would tend to do this. I would buy more than one book in the series or the whole series, and I don't even know if I'm gonna like it. All of these, except for one of the authors, is new to me, so I don't know if I'm gonna even like book 1, but I have bought subsequent books because either there was a sale or the books are really pretty, and so we're gonna go through these together, and I'm gonna decide if I'm gonna keep them or unhaul them. So first up is the first 2 books, The Iron Worm Affair by Lilith St. Crow. This is the Bannon and Claire series, I believe. These are book 1 and 2. So the first one is The Iron Worm Affair, the second is The Red Plague Affair. They are Victorian era. I'm guessing that we got some like murder mystery witchy vibes was probably why I bought these. Yes, forensic sorceress and a detective. Yeah, so witchy vibes, murder mysteries, magic, that kind of thing, which does still sound fantastic, and I love these covers, but I haven't read this one, so why the heck did I buy this one? Why do I do this to myself? I'm going to read the first book summary out loud, and you all tell me if I should keep these or not. How about we do that? We're going to play a little game. I'm going to read the summary. You let me know what you think. Do you think I will enjoy them based on what you know about my reading taste? Or if you've read them and you think I will enjoy them, let me know. Because I do need some help on these, because like I did already purchase multiple books in the series. So here is the summary for book 1. Emma Bannon, forensic sorceress in the service of the Empire, has a mission to protect Archibald Clare, a failed unregistered Menta. His skills of deduction are legendary, and her own sorcery is not inconsiderable. Unfortunately, they can barely tolerate each other. So, that really tells you absolutely nothing. So I'm going to go kind of further down and, ooh. Wait, there's dragons. Clockwork horses. Dragons rule the... There's dragons? We have dragons? Oh no. Never mind, I don't need help. I'm keeping this one. We're keeping dragons. Sorry. Next round you can help me. Because dragons. And clockwork horses. Who doesn't want that? Those are staying, so we'll take those and put those over here. In the stay pile. Okay. This next one I'm having difficulty with. Because I do like how it sounds. And I feel like it would be right up my alley. Plus, the covers are floral covers. And if you've known any of my videos or listened to me talk about books over the years, you know I love good floral covers, floral clothes, floral anything. So we have The Traitor's Kiss by Erin Beatty, and the sequel, The Traitor's Ruin, and I believe there's one more book in the series. So here's what the first book is about, The Traitor's Kiss. Oh, the cover gets me. So this is what this one's about. You let me know if I should keep it or not. An obstinate girl who will not be married, a soldier desperate to prove himself, a kingdom on the brink of war. With a quick silver tongue and an unruly temper, Sage Fowler is not what they call a proper lady, which is perfectly fine with her. Deemed unfit for a suitable marriage, Sage is apprenticed to a matchmaker and tasked with wrangling other young ladies to be married off for political alliances. She spies on the girls and on the soldiers escorting them. As their military escort senses a political uprising, Sage is recruited by a handsome soldier to infiltrate the enemy ranks. The more she discovers, the more uncertain she is of whom to trust, and Sage becomes caught in a dangerous balancing act that will determine the fate of her kingdom. With secret identities and tempestuous romance, The Traitor's Kiss is full of intrigue, espionage, and lies. Which sounds right up my alley, so why have I not picked it up yet? If you think I'm going to enjoy this book, let me know. Maybe I need to do a these books will self-destruct video with some of these. But see, when I read that, then it's like, why haven't I read this book yet? Because I know at one point I was super excited, but that last, just them saying The Traitor's Kiss is full of intrigue, espionage, and lies. I love some good fantasy political intrigue. If you haven't read Dark of the West by Joanna Hathaway, highly recommend it. That's one of my favorites. That has a wartime setting. If you haven't, it's so underrated. Please go read it. It's so good. But anyway, let me know if I should keep The Traitor's Kiss, or maybe should I just keep Traitor's Kiss and unhaul its sequel for now? Let me know what you think. Alright, next up is the other new to me author, and that is Taryn Matheru. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. The author of the Summoner series. So I have book 1 and book 2. I have The Novice and The Inquisition. I bought these when Barnes & Noble was doing a sale where it was buy one get one half off or something like that. That's when I also bought my entire series for Throne of Glass. I've read all those, but I've yet to read these, and I really think I bought them because at the time some other people were reading them and said that they were really good. Also, he can summon demons. So we got some magic, nobility, commoners, that kind of time period that I like in my fantasy. But here is book 1's summary, and you can let me know if you think I'm going to enjoy this, because I am kind of 50-50 on this series. Fletcher is working as a blacksmith's apprentice when he discovers he has the rare ability to summon demons from another world. Subsequently, chased from his village for a crime he did not commit, Fletcher must travel with his demon Ignatius to an academy for... Oh, there's an academy setting. That's why I bought it. For adepts where the gifted are taught the art of summoning. Along with nobles and commoners, Fletcher endures grueling lessons that will prepare him to serve as a battle mage in the Empire's war against the savage orcs. But sinister forces infect new friendships, and rivalries are formed at this school. With no one but Ignatius by his side, Fletcher must decide where his loyalties lie. As soon as he learns, the fate of the Empire is in his hands. So we have kind of that Chosen One story. We have the academy. We have a school setting. So very Chosen One story, which now I'm understanding at the point I was in my reading taste. That was why I probably bought this, was magic, academy setting. That makes sense. Do I still feel like that? I kind of like the idea of a demon sidekick. I don't know. Oh, he's so cute too. I just saw the little picture of the demon sidekick. It is so cute. Aww. But I don't know. Am I gonna read it in the next, like, 6-9 months? That's my question. I've had these on my shelves for probably 5 years. 4 or 5 years. Am I gonna read them? I'm feeling maybe Decluttering book 2 for this series is the best option. Because my intrigue is piqued a little bit after reading that again. Oh, this one kind of gives me a weird feeling in my gut. Like, that, like, maybe I am going to enjoy it, but I think maybe it's one of those where I'm going to have to split it. But let me know what you think. Do you think I'll enjoy this if you've read it? So this one is from Megan Shepherd. I have one book left in the Madman's Daughter trilogy from her, and I do have the entire Grim Lovely's Midnight Beauties. This is a duology, so I have both of them. So I could just read them back to back and finish off a series, but am I interested enough? I think I bought this more based on the cover and the Paris vibes. So let's see. Let's read it and see what we think. Oh my gosh, I've never seen this before. Okay, this has nothing to do with the book. It's just that, so it's priced right on the inside cover where it normally is, but it just says $17.99 and then a slash, and then usually they have like the price in Canadian dollars. All it says is higher in Canada. And I don't know why that's just giving me a giggle, but it says it on the back too, and I don't think I've ever seen that. I don't know. Anyway, back to the book. That just gave me a giggle for a minute. Higher in Canada. That's all you need to know about the price. 17-year-old Anouk envies the human world where people known as pretties lavish fast cars and high fashion on themselves and have the freedom to fall in love. But Anouk can never have those things because she is not really human. Enchanted from an animal to human girl and forbidden to venture beyond her familiar Parisian prison, Anouk is a beastie destined for a life surrounded by dust bunnies and cinders, serving Mada Vittoria, the evil witch who spelled her into existence. That is, until one day she finds her mistress murdered in a pool of blood, and Anouk is accused of the crime. Now that the world she has dreamed of is rife with danger, pursued through Paris by the underground magical society known as the Oat, I don't know if I'm saying that right, Anouk and her fellow beasties have only 3 days to find the real killer before the spell keeping them human fades away. If they fail, they will lose the only lives they've ever known, but if they succeed, they could be more powerful than anyone ever bargained for. Prepare to be spellbound by the world of grim lovelies, where secrets have been long buried, friends can become enemies, and everything, especially humanity, comes at a price. I don't know how I feel. I can see her connections to what Megan Shepherd's interested in. If you've read The Madman's Daughter, there's kind of some animal-human crossovers in that as well, which is kind of interesting that it kind of goes into this series as well a little bit, like that same kind of theme. I really think I may have bought this when everyone was talking about it, and I almost feel like maybe the only thing holding it my interest is that it's Parisian. What are the blurbs? Who's blurbed this? Stephanie Garber, who I've not read anything from Stephanie Garber. I know, I need to read Caraval. I know, don't come for me. Wonderful Royals and Witches. A darkly enchanting saga bound to attract fans of Leigh Bardugo and Holly Black, who, both authors that I like. I do like some of their books more than others. So maybe, but I don't know. I'm actually, you know what? If I ever feel the need to read it, I can get it from the library. I think I'm gonna actually unhaul these. And I don't feel bad about it. Like I'm telling you, doing the clothes and decluttering the clothes first. I was gonna do the books first because I thought it would be easier. I'm glad I did the clothes first because I think I would have kept these otherwise. But I think there's someone else out there that would enjoy these more than me. So I think I'm actually going to unhaul Grim Lovelies and Midnight Beauties by Megan Shepherd. If you did really enjoy these and you think that I possibly will as well, let me know in the comments, but I think they're gonna go. Yeah, that's my gut feeling right now, is I think I'm gonna let somebody else enjoy these. And if down the line I wanted to give it a try, library. That is like my new word for 2025. Library. Grim Lovelies and Midnight Beauties, book 2 and 3. No, 2 and 3. 3 and 4 in the Unhaul pile. This is the final, I think. Do I have any more? That one I do want to read, so that one can stay. Okay, I think this is the final big bind up of books, of like more than one book that I have. And that is the Inheritance Trilogy by N.K. Jemisin. I know that they are a big voice in epic fantasy, and I have heard good things about their books, but like, it's chunky. Sometimes I'm a big fan of bind ups because then I can just like keep reading through everything. And honestly, I don't, yeah, this one, the page count does not change in this. It just keeps going. So like the books aren't broken up by page numbers or anything. So chunky. And because I'm also currently having trouble calming my brain enough to physically read a book, which is part of why I'm doing this, I just do not see myself picking this up anytime soon because of how massive physically the book is. That's a spoiler. Not gonna remember that by the time I read that, if I read it. I would like to read a N.K. Jemisin book at some point. I just don't know if it would be in the next 6 to 9 months. So I think, unless you tell me otherwise, I think I'm also gonna unhaul this one, just because it would give me quite a bit of room on my shelves, and maybe just buying the first book would be a better option, and having that first book first instead of the entire bind up. What do we think? But for now we're gonna call this book 5, more like 5, 6, and 7, but book 5 in the Unhaul. That was good. We got 5 books in the pile. I still need like 78 more. So I'm gonna look through these shelves a little bit, and I will be back when I have some more books to unhaul or talk through. Quick update on the decluttering process. I have pulled 50 books so far from my shelves that I am keeping. So that's 50 out of what I think I said 247 that I'm keeping. I think what's left, at least on the fiction stuff, I've yet to go up to this very, very top shelf up here. And look, those are my nonfiction books. I have pulled a few that I'm still interested in, but I could pull a few more. So I'm not too worried about the nonfiction. It's like the tiniest grouping on my shelves. But I feel like I'm at like a standstill. All of the ones left on these shelves, oh wait, except for that one. That one, I missed that one when I first pulled. Okay. The remainder are ones that I'm just, some of them I do want to read, but I'm questioning whether I'll get to them in the next 6 to 9 months. Or I'm not sure. So I think I'm at the point where I'm gonna have to really do more of the KonMari method, hold them in my hand, get a feel for it, maybe read the summary, and see if it's something that I'm really gonna want to read. I think what I'll do is I'm gonna go shelf by shelf, hold it, read the summary, and then once I'm done with the shelf, see what I want to keep, what I want to unhaul, and I will come back and go through the books on the shelf with you. I think that is my next step. So, wish me luck, because the shelves are fighting back hard, and I gotta up my unhaul pile, because I have not unhauled any more. I just started pulling ones I was for sure wanting to read, so I gotta start getting ruthless. Alright, so I've done the first 2 shelves, and I've done them in a way where I started to like flip around. You may have seen me putting them back on the shelves a little differently. I flipped around the ones that I'm for sure unhauling, and then I kind of put the maybes on their spine and put them back in place so I knew which ones. I think all the maybes are going to be books that I end up writing down, that if in the future I want to pick one up, I can go to the library or get it on Libby, that kind of thing. Like, it's still a little interesting, but I don't necessarily think I am going to read it soon or need it on my shelf. Let's start with this shelf right here and the books that I will be unhauling. For this shelf, my for sure unhauls are going to be Harper Lee, Go Set a Watchman. I very much enjoyed To Kill a Mockingbird when I read it in school. I haven't read it since, but I feel like I would reread it. And I still am keeping my copy of that probably, but I don't know. I have heard hit or miss things with this one, and I just don't think I need to read it. So as much as I did enjoy To Kill a Mockingbird when I had to read it, I don't think I'm going to go and read Go Set a Watchman. So I'll be unhauling this one, which is now book 6 of my unhaul. I've also decided to unhaul these 2 little anthologies. This one is The Sleepy Hollow and Other Stories by Washington Irving. And then the final one that I'm getting rid of is Tales of the Jazz Age by F. Scott Fitzgerald. It's just a little tiny anthology, and to be honest, anthologies just really are not my jam. I've just really never read an anthology yet that I truly liked. And I know that they're good in case you want to like read something over the course of a long period of time, but I'm not about it. So I'm also going to be unhauling this one. Alright, so for the maybes on this shelf, these are the ones that I'm thinking that I will unhaul but write down, so in case I want to come back to them, I could. So the first one is The Watchmaker's Daughter, Glass and Steel, Book 1, C.J. Archer. So this is the first in a series. So I could technically give it a shot, but I just don't know how I feel. I don't know if I'm excited enough about it. So we have India Steele, who her fiance has taken her inheritance. No one will employ her. And it looks like she possesses like a strange watch that could, or this guy comes and he has a strange watch that rejuvenates him when he's sick. And it looks like he might be like a fugitive from justice kind of thing, but he saves her. And so it could be like a little fantasy romance kind of situation. But I don't know. The fact that there's like a fugitive outlaw in like early London is kind of the only thing it has going for me right now. Otherwise, I'm really not that interested. I think it has to go. The Watchmaker's Daughter is going to be unhauled, which makes that 9 books total so far. The next book is also a maybe, so it will be getting written down. I just don't know if I want to keep it on my shelf yet. It is Beauty and the Clockwork Beast, a steampunk proper romance. Takes place, it says Scottish border. So could be a little bit England, could be a little bit Scotland. It is a Jane Eyre meets Beauty and the Beast, which sounds interesting. I have not read Jane Eyre. It's one classic I would like to read, but I have not read it yet. I am intrigued by the historical fantasy steampunk elements of it, which draws me in a lot more than historical fiction. But it is still historical in setting, and sometimes it's just hit or miss for me. But the fact that it is steampunk has a lot going for it. Do I keep it? Do I part with it? Maybe I give it a chance. See, and this is why we talk through some of these maybes, because maybe we give it a chance. Maybe we give it a chance. I really need to take books off my shelf and not keep them, but I think this one's staying. I think this one is staying. Back it goes. Alright, the next maybe on the list is Midwinter Blood by Marcus Sedgwick. I think I originally bought this as a cover buy first off because the cover is just really gorgeous. It is a Michael L. Prince Award for Excellence in Young Adult Literature from the American Library Association, so it is an award winner. But I just don't know if it's up my alley. There's a lot of different stories within it, so there's a lot going on. It takes place on a secretive island, and I don't know. It's the year 2073, so it's a little bit in the future. It almost feels like historical in a way, though, and I guess because we do have some like artifacts. There's ghosts, there's painters, Vikings, so there's a lot of different elements shoved in this book, and I'm just not sure if I'm going to enjoy the hodgepodge, I guess, of like all the different elements. But I think for now I am going to let this one go, even though it is a really pretty cover and I really, really like the cover. But I just don't feel like I'm in the mood for this book. Alright, that was books, let's see, so now I think that was books 8 and 9, I think. How many do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, we got 10. Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. This is honestly, it's harder than I thought it would be. The next one is one that I wanted for a very long time, and I kept telling myself that I would buy it, and I would buy it, and I would buy it. I bought it when it was like, I think it was had a sale. It has like the little mark on the bottom showing it was on like the clearance area, and I haven't read it, but I am intrigued. I read through, of course, like I said, I did read through the summaries of all of these books, and there is a little bit of an intriguing point for me, and that's at the back, because it's a long summary. Because with the Clockmaker's Daughter, at the back, like, it really doesn't mention her until the very end. I'll read you the very last paragraph, and this is where I kind of like the intrigue kind of hit me again, because it brought in the title of the book. So it says, intricately layered and told by multiple voices across time, this is a kaleidoscopic story of murder, mystery, and thievery, of art, love, and loss. And flowing through its pages like a river is the voice of a woman who stands outside time, whose name has been forgotten by history, but who has watched it all unfold. Birdie Bell, the Clockmaker's Daughter. So the Clockmaker's Daughter seems to be this overwatching character of all of this unfolding, and so I'm kind of intrigued how she plays into it, because she isn't mentioned anywhere in the whole rest of the summary until that point. And like the very top says, my real name no one remembers, the truth about that summer no one else knows. So I am kind of interested in how the Clockmaker's Daughter, Birdie Bell, her character plays into it. It sounds almost like she's the narrator. I don't know if the intrigue is strong enough with just that one character. Like, I just kind of want to know what her part of it is. But I feel like that's like the whole book. And I don't know how I feel about the rest of the characters. I don't know. The rest of the summary is hit or miss until we get right there. So I think I'm going to go ahead and unhaul this one. I am going to write it down and save it just in case I do want to read it. Book 11, The Clockmaker's Daughter, being unhauled. And finally, the book from this first shelf that I am unhauling. And I am not unhauling this because I don't want to read it. I want to make that very clear. I personally actually like the design of the paperbacks more than the hardcover, which is why I am unhauling the hardcover. I do not own the paperback though, so I will have to purchase that eventually, but I am wanting to read The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I do want to read this series. It sounds amazing. I've heard fantastic things. I know that it can kind of get kind of dark if I remember people talking about it, so I do expect this to be a darker read. I just like the bright colored covers of the paperback copies. I am going to unhaul The Poppy War, but I will be repurchasing the paperback copies. Or the paperback copy, because we're not making the mistake of buying more than one book in a series until we read book 1. So, but I don't think I will necessarily read it soon. So by then, I think I will have more books off of my TBR that I will feel comfortable repurchasing and adding this back on. So, starting off on the second shelf with the books I'm going to unhaul, I'm going to go first with The Room on Rue Amaly by Kristen Harmel. This one is a World War II Paris, and I think this was a book that my mom had bought originally. And when I was going through her books, I decided to keep it because it did sound interesting. But I just know that I am hit or miss with historical fiction. And I do have another book that is set in this same time period. This one is 1939, and I believe the other one is 1940s, 46, late 40s. But it's still World War II. But that one just had a little bit more of an intrigue. It was about, or it's based on true stories of female spies during the war. It just caught my attention a lot more than this one. So The Room on Rue Amaly will be my, I don't know what book number we're on. There'll be a count somewhere. Next unhaul from this shelf is going to be the Heavenstone Secrets. This is the first in an all-new series from V.C. Andrews. And honestly, I read the back And there was just one line in the summary that I was like, I hate this. No thank you. And I'm unhauling it. I don't want to read it. And the final two books are by the same author. This is Jennifer Armentrout, not Jennifer L. Armentrout, two different authors. This is the book 1 and book 2 of The Blood Ties, The Turning, Avoid Sunlight, Drink Blood. So vampire romance novel-y books. I read the first one. Yes, I read the first one. I can't really remember it too much. And then maybe I read the second one. But I have other vampire romances that I enjoy a little more. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove these two from my shelf. Moving on to the maybes of this shelf. I have 4 of those. And the first one, oh my god, don't fall. The first one is Last Resort by Andrew Lipstein. This was a book that I picked up in a little free library, and it sounded good. It still sounds good, but I think it's almost one that I might just enjoy listening to. I don't know if it's one that I would want to like sit down and read. I do like the fact that it kind of has a Faustian deal in it. That is its current saving element for me is there's a Faustian deal, which makes it a high possibility that I would enjoy this book, but I don't know for sure. I think I'm just going to unhaul it, maybe plop it back in the little free library somewhere and save it and maybe listen to it on audio or get it from the library if I do want to actually read it. The next maybe is The Sacrifice Box by Martin Stewart. I think this has been on a couple TBRs in the past. When I was on a flight for last year going to the When We Were Young festival, I let the girl across the aisle borrow this. Her friend was seated next to me and she was across the aisle and she was like, I don't know how we got on the topic of it, but I was like, I have a book if you want one. I don't know if she was like looking for something to do. I can't remember. So I let her borrow this and she got a little bit of a ways into it and she said it wasn't bad. She just said it was kind of like, okay. I've had this one on my TBR for a while now, I feel, and I think it's just time to go ahead and let this one go. So you know what? Instead of a maybe, I think I'm going to go ahead and add this to the unhaul pile. Next up is The Witch Elm by Tana French. I have not read from this author. I have heard hit or miss things, but The Witch Elm was a really popular one that a few of the booktubers that I had been watching really enjoyed, and so I picked it up, but I have not read it yet. So this one I need opinions on. It still sounds interesting. That's another thing that I'm sometimes hit or miss with is like thrillers and stuff like that. So I don't know. If you've read The Witch Elm by Tana French, let me know what you thought about it and maybe let me know if I should be reading it or if I should move on. So this one is still a maybe for me, and then, I don't know, maybe I'll decide to keep it. I'm not entirely sure yet, but it is going in the maybe pile. The final maybe of this shelf is going to be Lifelike by Jay Kristoff. This one is similar, I think, to The Poppy War, as I think I like the paperback covers. I recall liking the paperback covers when I saw them. Also, I don't know how often I see this one at the bookstore, so I don't even know if I'm capable of finding the hardcover, the full series in hardcover. But I'm also not big on some sci-fi. Some sci-fi I enjoy, and usually it's Jay Kristoff writing with Amy Kaufman. So I know that I like sci-fi that Jay writes, but I don't know if I like his standalone sci-fi. And sci-fi is like hit or miss with me. So do I give it a shot, see if I like it, or maybe I'll listen to the audio, get it from the library if I do end up wanting to read it, if I do some kind of like author backlist situation. I don't think... What do some of the authors have to say? Oddly enough, every single author on the back of this book is an author that I know of, but I've never read anything from. So that doesn't help me much in regards to deciding based on author blurbs. I do think the Laini Taylor blurb is probably the best. It says, "Hey you, yes, you put this grimy, beautiful, devastating, hilarious, screaming, writhing, all-out post-apocalyptic girl buddy road war lost princess techno thriller in your face and read it now. It is every kind of badass." That does kind of make me want to read it. I like the full just like run-on sentence, keeps going review of the book. So that kind of does make me want to read it just a little bit. Like I said with a few of the other ones, maybe this one goes on a read these books before they self-destruct video. Because I think I definitely need to do one of those as well to help me get through some of this TBR. That review is pretty funny, and I kind of like it. Yeah. All right, we're gonna keep Lifelike. Lifelike's going back on the shelf. It is turned from a baby into a keep. And that is those two shelves completely done. I have gone through them. I'm sure that not all that's left. I probably could be a little bit more ruthless about it. But I did read the backs of everything. I did read the summaries of everything. And everything else still sounds good or intrigues me in some way enough to keep them for now. If I don't hit that 25%, I think it'll be fine, because I think I will read up till that, at least up to that 25%. So let's do a quick count before I dive back into some summaries and see where we're at number-wise. We're gonna say 21. That's not including the sequel books in the 2 series that we discussed earlier, which you're gonna help me with and decide if I want to keep those. So 21. 21 is where we're at. We're trying to get to 83, but 21 isn't bad. I will take that. If we could even get like half of 83, that number does not half well, but if we could get like 41 books off of these shelves, I think I'd be pretty happy with that. We still have a while to go. I have 1, 2, 3 more shelves of fiction books on this shelf to go through, and then I will move over and read through my book box books as well as the arcs that I have. I have a feeling that the arc pile might dwindle significantly unless some of them really, really grab my attention, and that's only because most of them are going to be YA. And I'm actually keeping more YA than I anticipated, but it's still not quite my cup of tea. It looks like I'm also saving more along the lines of like fantasy YA rather than contemporary, and I have a lot of contemporary YA arcs, I believe. And then I don't know what to do with those. So maybe I'll do a big giveaway with some arcs, or I'm gonna like email the library and see like maybe they want them for like giveaways or something for the kids. What do you do with your arcs if you don't take them to a little free library or give them away? Anyway, I'm going to get back to these books after that little offshoot conversation, and let's see if I can get any more off of these shelves. I am back. I have now completely gone through my physical TBR shelves, minus the nonfiction up top. All the fiction on this shelf has been gone through, and I have decided which I'm going to unhaul. There's a lot of maybes on this shelf, and I did keep more. I think I'm kind of getting in my brain where I'm at in my reading, and it's very much leaning towards more fantasy than contemporary and like real world. I feel like tracks right now with where I'm at. Fantasy is probably a much safer, enjoyable experience right now for me to be reading. Just to be able to like escape into a book for a little bit. I did skip over one from a previous shelf that I am going to be unhauling, and that is Bonfire by Kristen Ritter. I just read through it, and I really just don't think that this story is going to be for me. It just doesn't sound very intriguing for me at this point. Maybe down the line I'll return to it. For now, I'll be passing this one along. The next shelf we had, let's see, 5 more unhauls. So the first book that I will be unhauling is Mr. Fox by Helen Oyemi. I apologize for my mispronunciation. I also received this in a Book Riot box a while back, and it was very interesting at first, but just reading it now, I'm just not interested in it anymore. So there's nothing really more to it than that, and so I'm gonna let it move on to a different home and for someone else who might enjoy it just a little bit more than I'm going to if I was gonna try to read it. Next up is A Room with a View. This was a classic that my mom had bought. She had wanted to read it. If it was because she had watched the movie that she wanted to read the book, or what it was, but for some reason I was thinking this book was a different classic than what the book I was thinking in my brain was. So I'll be unhauling it because I don't really have an interest in this one. I usually end up listening to my classics on audiobook anyway. They're just easier for me to consume and understand that way. So if I ever did want to read this, it would probably be on audio. But I'll be unhauling A Room with a View by E.M. Forster. Next up is Armada by Ernest Cline. I absolutely love Ready Player One. And I did very much enjoy Ready Player Two. Not quite as much as Ready Player One, but I enjoyed both of them. This one, on the other hand, it isn't intriguing to me. It doesn't have the same vibes as Ready Player One does, and I think I'd rather just, if I was going to read something else by Ernest Cline, I think I'd rather just reread Ready Player One. So I'll be unhauling Armada and sending this one off to a good home. The next two are kind of on the same wavelength. They're very like slice of life, suburban living, that kind of thing, obviously on different types of plots. But we have If We're Being Honest by Kat Shook, which I, at the time, sounded really interesting, but right now, if I'm being honest, I'm not gonna probably read this one. So if this sounds interesting to you, let me know. Maybe I can send it your way, because it is an ARC, so I can't really do much with it other than giveaways, trading, and little free libraries. So if this one sounds interesting and you live in the US, let me know and maybe I can send this your way. And then that second one is Little Fires Everywhere. This is this was turned into a TV show on Hulu, and I think this is one of those where I think I would probably watch the TV show before I read the book. I'm sure the book's fantastic, but it's just not for me right now. So I'm going to be passing along this book to somebody who will enjoy it more. That is all the Unhaul books for the shelf. Now we have the maybes. These are the ones that I need to talk through because I'm just not quite sure where I'm at with them yet. We have three of these. Yes, we have three of these. The first one is Down Comes the Night by Allison Saff. It is a kind of gothic novel. It sounds interesting. There's magic. It does have a magical element. And basically our main character is dismissed from the Queen's Guard due to a misuse of magic. And she ends up being asked to the estate of a lord to cure a mysterious illness of a servant. The servant ends up being the kingdom's sworn enemy, and I think that they kind of like have a little bit of a romance or something in here, and she's just helping as they get deeper into what is causing him to be sick. Secrets unfold, all that kind of stuff. So it does sound interesting. I'm a little bit intrigued. I just don't know if I am gonna read it sooner rather than later, or if I'm better off just listening to it on audio and like at a later date if it does sound interesting again. I do love this cover though. The cover makes me want to read it. I'm really on the fence about this one. So if you have read Down Comes the Night and you think I would enjoy it, let me know, because I may keep this one. Maybe it's another one for a self-destruct. Next up is I Darken by Kirsten White. This is about a princess who is a descendant of Vlad the Impaler. I've had this on my TBR a while. I had it in my mind to read for a very long time before I even bought the book, but I haven't reached for it. I don't know if it's because we're so far off from Vlad the Impaler that like he's not really in the book, if that makes sense. I've also had like some hit or miss with Kirsten White. There's always some mixed reviews about her books. I do love Vlad the Impaler's story, so I think I would enjoy this one, but it is a trilogy. And that's the other downside. I feel like almost if this was a standalone, like The Historian, if you haven't read The Historian, it's really interesting. It took me a couple tries to really get into it, but fabulous book. That was a standalone, and I enjoyed that quite a bit. And I feel like if this was maybe a standalone, I would be more interested. But the fact that I would have to then start another series, so I think it's time. I think it's going to go in the unhaul pile. Yeah, we're unhauling it. The last maybe on this shelf, and this one really is a maybe, because I just need help deciding if I want to read the full book. I feel like the answer is going to be yes from everybody, because this is a very well-loved classic, and that is Little Women by Louise May Alcott. I know. Everyone's going to be saying read it. I know. I have watched the movie, the most recent one with Saoirse Ronan and Emma Watson. I have watched that one, and I absolutely loved the movie. I thought it was fantastic. So, I think I would like to read the book and get the full story, because obviously details are always left out. Let me know if you think I'll enjoy the book. If I enjoyed the movie, most likely the answer is always going to be yes. Usually if you enjoyed the movie, you'll enjoy the book more. And usually I do like to read the book before the movie, but sometimes that just, for classics, it's like the opposite. But what do you think? Will I enjoy the book for Little Women? Let me know what you think. Because I'm definitely on the fence with this one, whether I want to keep it and read it or just enjoy the movies. I feel like that's the same with all the classics. I feel like I'm a classic movie girly, but not a read the classics girly, if you get my drift. On to the next shelf, we have 2 unhauls on this one. One is a steampunk anthology. Like I said before, anthologies I've just discovered are just not my jam. We're unhauling this one. I'm not gonna read it. The final unhaul for this shelf is going to be Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Now, I do love a John Green book, but with my headspace and just how overwhelmed and cluttered my brain has been lately, I just don't think I am at the point right now where this book would benefit me, and I think it would just be a little overwhelming right now. I do want to read this at some point, maybe, or I have a few John Green books that I would like to reread. This one is going to get unhauled and someone else can enjoy it. I'm not entirely sure where this left off, so we were talking about my maybes, and I was talking about the Friday Society. This has been on my shelf for a very long time. I think I bought it secondhand. I think right now I'm just kind of like, am I going to finally pick it up? Is this the year that I finally read this book? Do I make myself read this book this year? Is it another option for a self-destruct video? Because when I read through the synopsis, I do enjoy it. It sounds interesting. I'm excited about it. But it's just that it's been on my shelf for so long and I still haven't picked it up. Do I trust myself to pick it up? I'm gonna let you all decide on this one. I'm noticing that I am keeping a lot of steampunk themed books that I could maybe do a whole reading vlog for them, which could be an idea, because it does sound good. It really just sounds like 3 badass girl heroines kicking some butt. It does. So, this is what it says. An action-packed tale of gowns, guys, guns, and the heroines who use them all. The Friday Society follows the story of 3 intelligent and talented young women who work as assistants to powerful men. Cora, lab assistant, Michiko, combat instruction assistant, and Nellie, magician's assistant. Their lives become inexorably intertwined after a chance meeting at a ball ends with the discovery of a murdered mystery man. It's up to these 3 in their own charming but bold way to solve the murder and the crimes they believe may be connected to it without calling too much attention to themselves. Of course, blending in has never been these ladies' strong suit, especially with so many eligible men around. Told with Adrian Cress's sharp wit and a great deal of irreverence, this steampunk mystery introduces 3 unforgettable and very ladylike, well, relatively ladylike heroines poised for more dangerous adventures. It sounds fantastic, right? So why haven't I picked it up yet? Explain that to me. Well, let me know what you think. I feel like, kind of like I did with An Ember in the Ashes, I need to make it a priority if I'm going to keep it this round. So this is still a maybe, just because I don't know what's wrong with me. Will I pick it up? Why not? Why? So this is a maybe. Should I keep it? Shouldn't I keep it? Let me know your thoughts. Next book on the maybe pile is Becoming Mrs. Lewis by Patty Callahan. This is the story of Joy Davidman and C.S. Lewis and their friendship and turned true love. I don't know much about that. It kind of says here, C.S. Lewis called, unquote, My Whole World, talking about Joy Davidman. It is a fiction story. So it does say that a lot of the stuff in here is not true. It's all just fictionalized. But our main 2 characters are real people. So I don't know how much of this is any kind of fact. I don't think any. Which is interesting. It's kind of I guess maybe a little bit of a take on these 2 people and what the author thought could have happened or maybe happened between them. But I'm not sure. I almost wish that it was more of based on a true story kind of one. It's on the fence. It's like a 50-50 right now on whether I want to keep this one or not. So if you've read Becoming Mrs. Lewis by Patty Callahan, let me know how you liked it. Did you enjoy it? Let me know. Final one for this shelf is The Heart of the Moors by Holly Black. This is the Maleficent novel that she wrote around the time that the movie was coming out for the Maleficent Mistress of Evil, which I think was the second movie, I believe. This sounds interesting. It follows Aurora, which is interesting that it follows Aurora rather than Maleficent, but we'll see how that goes. It's not like it's a long book, so I don't think it would take me a long time to read if I did want to read it. I did enjoy the movies. I did enjoy that. I do enjoy Holly Black's writing to an extent. Her most recent book wasn't my favorite, but I do absolutely love the Folk of the Air trilogy. It is possible, since this is Faye, that I would very much enjoy it. But it's still a 50-50. So if you've read this one, would I like it? Did you like it? Let me know your thoughts on Heart of the Moors by Holly Black, and maybe I'll keep this one. But really, this batch of maybes are true, like 50-50 maybes, I feel like, at this stage. The final shelf of fiction on this bookshelf, at least, has 4 maybes. There's no straight unhauls yet. It's possible that some of these could be an unhaul, like turn into an unhaul. There are maybes for now. Starting with one that I feel like is going to be a little controversial again, and that is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I tried to listen to the first little bit of this audiobook, and it just was not keeping my attention. I'm just really not sure. Like, I know there's a lot of people who absolutely love this book. It does sound interesting. Once again, like, it is kind of a classic mixed with a historical fiction vibe, so not really necessarily my cup of tea normally, but I know a lot of people do enjoy this. Maybe is there like a certain audiobook, because I'm guessing this one has more than one audiobook. Is there a certain audiobook that's better than others, or do I just need to get to a certain point in the book to really like dive in and enjoy it? Let me know. But Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier is on the chopping block. Next up on the maybes is Girl A by Abigail Dean. This I received by picking a blind date with a book. It sounds very, very dramatic, very secretive, thriller, a lot of drama. It sounds like a lot of drama and trauma. It does sound very interesting and mysterious and intriguing, though. Has some siblings who basically escaped from this house of horrors that their father created. And they, I think, end up going back. Together with her sister, Evie, Lex intends to turn the home into a force for good. Kind of reclaiming it, but it looks like there's a lot of secrets and drama that is going to be still uncovered. So, yes, no, maybe. It's not, I don't know. I don't know if I'm vibing with it right now. I think this one is just one I'm going to have to pass on. Now, this next book was a absolute airport buy. Whichever of the bookstores is in the airport at Heathrow, I saw this and the cover is just really pretty and I like the cover, and like it's florals. Ooh, this one does have florals. I just realized that. I could have used this for so many prompts. This was a cover buy, and then it was like a thriller, so it sounded good. I'm trying to decide if the back of it is enough to make me want to read it. I'm gonna read this one to you all. It sounds like it could be interesting. Like, it sounds very intriguing. But am I keeping it just because the cover is really pretty? Maybe. B hasn't spoken to her best friend since her boyfriend's mysterious death. Now, a year later, she needs to face them. They're beautiful, rich, and deadly. She is certain one of them holds the truth about what really happened to Jim. A whirlwind night leads to a narrowly missed car collision and a sinister man knocking at the door as a storm rages outside to deliver a world-shattering message. As secrets unravel and time backbends, the 5 friends must make a shocking choice. Trust no one, fear everything. How would you vote? Who will survive the Neverworld Wake? There's a lot of questions in that. Ooh, I actually kind of just got chills. Does that mean I keep it? Like, I actually physically, like, goosebumps. Maybe that's a sign that I should read it sooner rather than later. I don't know. Do we keep it? I'm gonna go with we keep it. We're gonna keep it. We'll take it. We'll take that as a sign. I need all the help I can get right now. I'm running on decluttering fumes at this point. Now this one. This book is a sequel to The Map of Time. I read The Map of Time back, it's been a while. I bought it in 2013 because there's a character that has one of my names in it. So I bought it because it had a character name that was named the same as me. It's a translated work, so it did take a minute to get into. It was overall a fantastic book. My problem is I do have the sequel, and I have not picked this up because of how long it took me to like really read the Map of Time. This one has, whereas the Map of Time kind of did H.G. Wells' Time Machine vibes, this one has more of like H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds vibes. Movie-wise, now book-wise, I honestly did not like the Time Machine. I didn't. I do like the movie War of the Worlds. I have not listened to like the audio play of it, but I'm trying to decide if maybe I would like this one more. We have some like historical characters in here. I think H.G. Wells was in the first one as a character. This one looks like we might have H.G. Wells again, but we also might have Edgar Allan Poe coming to the book as well. It's just one of those where I just can't decide. It's been sitting on the shelf for a while. I don't think it's one of those where I would have to reread book 1 to continue the series, which is probably a good thing. I'm feeling no, just because I feel like I could go ahead and like, have I unhauled the Map of Time? I might have unhauled the first book actually. And if that's the case, then I'm going to say this is an unhaul. I did not unhaul the Map of Time. I still have it. And I was wrong. It was not Lorraine. It's my last name. There's a character named Claire Haggerty. And I do not see Haggerty in books that often. You can tell that these are not the same publisher. Obviously, this is the UK version. This is the US copy. Because this one does take place in London. And there is some future vlogs that I could possibly use this in. So maybe I put it in that self-destruct pile. And then if I don't get to it in the next year, I can unhaul it. I don't think I'll unhaul this one just because I'd never see my last name in books. I wonder if I'd actually like this book more now, just out of curiosity. Because it does have a lot of like historical characters that I like. For instance, one of the main characters in this one is the lover of Marie Kelly, who was one of the women killed by Jack the Ripper. I'm going to keep this copy for sentimental reasons, because I also did purchase this when I was studying abroad. I think I actually got this at a bookstore in Oxford. I'm going to unhaul this one. If I ever feel like rereading book 1 and then feel like continuing, and I will go see about picking this up at the library or online. And that, my friends, besides the nonfiction up on the top shelf, my physical TBR for this bookshelf is done. I think I'm done for the night. I think I'm going to count up where we're at and then kind of relax, maybe watch a little bit of Bones and just kind of have like a little chill. Wake up bright and bushy-tailed in the morning. Maybe not bright and bushy-tailed. I'll wake up in the morning and I will get started on my book box books, the nonfiction books, as well as my physical ARCs. And I feel like, I really think the ARCs, honestly, are where more is going to come from. And there's possibly a few from the nonfiction. Book box books, I'm not entirely sure. Thanks for hanging out with me all day while I try to accomplish this task. I will see you all tomorrow with a cup of coffee. Have a good night. Good morning. It is Sunday, so this is day 2 of the Great Book Declutter. I have moved all of my ARCs over here. That way I could just keep the camera in one angle, and then once I'm done with the ARCs, I will grab all my book box books and do the same thing, and maybe even try to fit everything on the one bookcase. I have a little space on the bottom, so we'll see what I can do. But starting off with the numbers game, for me yesterday, including the maybe pile, since we're not 100% sure on those, I unhauled 40 books. That does include the maybes, so some of those might hop on, because without the maybes, it was 32. So, honestly, we're trying to get to 83 as like the magic number. 40 isn't horrible. That is where we're starting today. I think I'm going to have to go through these ARCs and read all the summaries, just because I don't remember what some of them are about. I know there's a few that I do want to automatically keep, like ones that are more recent, ones that I've received in the last, 6 months or so. So like Y'all Fest last year, and anything that's been sent or, I've acquired since then. I got my coffee, which is very important today. as it's also daylight savings time, so we did spring forward an hour and lost an hour of sleep. So it's a little, well, I'm a little drowsy this morning, but we got the coffee, gonna drink that, and I'm gonna get to reading some of these summaries and see which ones I want to keep and which ones I want to unhaul. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Cheers. All of the arcs have been gone through. I actually have found quite a few that I'm going to go ahead and unhaul for various reasons, but we will get to those. And there's a few maybes that I'll kind of talk through. I think I'm going to keep them. I think they're leaning towards the keep side. My thing with a lot of these is a lot of them are YA because they were from YALLFest. And I haven't, while I've been reading a little bit of YA, I haven't been reading a lot of YA. I just don't know for sure if I need to keep all of them. Am I going to get to all of them? But it's fine. We're going little by little, so let's go ahead and get into it. I did separate all of these as well by release date, so we'll kind of go year by year as well and see what I'm going to keep and what I'm not. So first up is my pile from 2017 and 2018 releases. I've actually done a pretty good job of reading some of the earlier ones, but I only have one that I am going to release into the wild. Valley Girls by Sarah Nicole Lemon. Also, I met the author at YALLFest when I got this one. So this one is signed, which I don't know what I'm going to do with that because it is personalized. I just don't think I'm going to read it. I think that this story would be a benefit to somebody else. So I might go stick it in a little free library just because it is personalized, and that way it's just a little free library book rather than, unless there's someone watching this video who is also named Kimberly and is interested in this arc, let me know. That is the only one from my 2017 and 2018 arcs that I am leaving behind. Next up, going in year order, we have my 2019 arcs. There is there's two unhauls and two maybes, so let's get into it. My two unhauls are going to be Tarot by Marissa Kennerson and Small Town Hearts by Lily Vale. Both of these have been ones that, through different unhauls over the years, since 2018, I have kept, and I've thought about reading it, I've thought about them. They're not getting read, and so I feel like that kind of means something when there's these arcs that have been on my shelf for so long. This one does sound really cute in some regards, but I don't know, for some reason having the first name of the character Babe is just not it's not working for me right now. I think that's like one thing that always keeps me from reading it. I just kind of don't like the main character name. I don't know, I love the cover, but the main character name is just not working for me. And then Tarot sounded really interesting. It has a lot of, obviously, tarot card Easter eggs, and the land is called Cups, and so that part was interesting to me, but I just don't think I'm gonna read it. I read through the synopsis again, and I don't know, there's just other fantasy books that I would rather read more than these two, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove these from my ARC TBR. Now, my two maybes for this, one of them is a book that I do want to read and get to. I just don't know if I'm going to get to it in the next, like I said, 6-9 months. And the other one, I just haven't decided if I want to dive into it. It does have an interesting aspect for me, but I'll go with the one that I'm probably going to unhaul just because I know for a fact that I can get this from the library when I decide I want to read it. And that is Lovely War by Julie Berry. This is a World War II back to World War I. Has to do with Ares and Aphrodite, so mythology is a big part of this, and I know so many people love this book. Mythology, whether it's Greek, Roman, I don't know, all of it is kind of hit or miss with me. I either really, really love it or really, really hate it. So I'm thinking that I'm just going to go ahead and take this one off my shelf for now, and then if I do want to read it at some point, I can get it from the library. So Lovely War by Julie Berry will be leaving my shelf, but not because I don't want to read it. I am going to write it down. And the final book on the maybe pile is The Waning Age by S.E. Grove. So this one has some science fiction elements and has to do with, like, at a certain age, kids basically go through the waning and they lose their emotions. And so all the adults this takes place in San Francisco, are devoid of emotion. And our main character's brother gets kidnapped by a Big Brother-esque corporation, and she is going to try to rescue him because she's still, even though has had the waning, still has emotions for her brother, like love for him, and wants to protect him. But the only real aspect that I am interested in is the actual like science-y fiction part of the waning, the idea of this devoid of emotions. And while it's called the waning age, I'm not sure how much we're going to get into that process. Like, is that going to be a big behind the scenes and a part of it? Or is it just like the reason why it's confusing that she wants to like save her brother? So I'm feeling like maybe I put this one in the maybe pile, or unhaul pile, write it down and come back to it. Maybe read a couple of reviews, not too in depth, and see, but I don't know. I think I'm enjoying the idea of the science fiction part of it more, and the emotion part more than the actual like what the plot's gonna be. At least that's my kind of gut feeling about it. Do I keep it for a little longer? I've had this one since 2018. Am I gonna read it though? I don't think so. I don't think I'm gonna read it in the next like year or so. Alright, this one's going in the unhaul pile. Moving on to 2020, I have 2 unhauls and 1 maybe. Starting with the unhauls, we have Anna K by Jenny Lee. I started to read this and I just wasn't clicking with it. Heard great things about it. I just wasn't feeling the vibes after the first few chapters. So I'm gonna move along, and I know that there's a sequel, so I'm just not really interested in reading this one right now. Maybe down the line I will be, but it was not working for me at the time that I read the first few chapters. These couple of unhauls are a little bit easier because I have tried them, or like Goddess in the Machine, I have a finished copy that was in a book box, so I do not need 2 copies, so I'm gonna go ahead and let the art go. And the maybe for this pile is Bewitch by Paige McKenzie and Nancy Olin. This sounds really interesting. I just don't know if I'm gonna read, like I think I've put it on a couple TBRs, and I haven't read it yet. But it does say a bingeable read, perfect for fans of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Mean Girls. And I do like a witchy read, but because it is YA, that's my only thing kind of stopping me, is that am I going to read it in a more timely manner? Granted, I'd probably save it for like the autumn, being that it is a witchy read, so I would have time to think about it. So maybe we'll keep it. We'll keep it, and we'll see how I feel come autumn, whether or not I read it or not. And if I don't read it this spooky season, then maybe it's time to go ahead and give it up. Woo! Going into my 2021 and 2022 arcs, I only have 3. I am keeping all of them, so these are going back on the shelf. Now we are getting into the 2023 through 2025 arcs, so we're getting a little closer to newer releases. But I do have a few that I am splitting with. So let's start with 2023. The one from 2023 that I am unhauling is We Don't Swim Here by Vincent Torrado. There's just some themes in here that I just think in my current mindset I'm just not there for right now. It sounds amazing. It sounds like it'll be a good book for somebody. I am just not in that mindset to read something like this right now. And so I'm going to let it out into the world. If you are interested in this one and you've been wanting to read it, or you have read it and want an art copy, let me know. Otherwise, I'm probably going to go drop it in a little free library. That's my only unhaul for 2023, and my maybe is currently The Angel Maker by Alex North. This is looking to be like a suspense thriller, and I haven't had it for that long. I need to look up and see if this is a standalone. I think that's one of my things with these newer ones, are they standalones. I have a few for 2025 arcs that I am unhauling because they are series. If this is a standalone, I might be able to swing it, and it hasn't been on my shelf that long, so these newer arcs I'm happy to keep holding on to for a little bit longer. And it's not that long, and it's a thriller. It's just over 300 pages. It can stick around. Now we are into 2024, so these are very recent reads that have come out in the last year. These are staying. This is another one. This is Shut Up, This Is Serious by Caroline Exta. I hope I'm saying and pronouncing that last name correctly. This is another one where I just feel like this is going to be a lot of heavy themes, and I don't have the mental stamina to currently, with all the moving pieces of my life right now, to deal with some heavy themes, and this is one of those. It sounded amazing when I picked it up in 2023. I had every intention of reading it, but I just know that I cannot do this right now. If you're interested, check it out. It sounds really good, so maybe this one will be up for grabs at some point too. The last two books, one is a maybe and one is an unhaul. These were sent to me from a publisher that I did another book review with, and while I did love that book, I was not expecting either of these, and I probably would not have, I may have picked one and not the other. So the one that I'll be unhauling is The Donut Prince of New York. It has an interesting premise for the target audience of the book, which I am not this book's target audience, so I hope that I can put this in a little free library and would reach them. So that one is going away. The cover is really fun and bright and colorful, so I do like the cover of this book, but the plot is just not something that I need at this time. This final book is a maybe, and that is Ross Demire Is Not the One by Layla Britton. This one does sound very interesting, so it is on my maybe list. If you have read this one, it came out in October last year. Let me know what you think of it and if you think I'll like it, because I'm intrigued, but it is a YA contemporary, so not currently my reading taste, but let me know what you think, and maybe I will keep this one on the shelf. Moving on to 2025 in the final batch of Unhaul for the physical arcs, I have 3 that I'll be unhauling. These ones are pretty simple explanations. I just got these at YALLFest last year. I'm going to talk about this one first. This is The Wildest Things by Andrea Hanna. Basically, I'm just not a fan of Snow White. Like, the movie freaked me out as a kid, and it's just not one of my favorite Disney movies either, or retelling-wise, and I'm also not a big retelling person. It just really is always hit or miss. So I'm just going to go ahead and let someone else enjoy this one, and it can leave my shelf and hopefully find someone who will enjoy it a lot more than me. And with these two, this is where I previously was talking about series, which the first one is a repackaging. It is Ambition, the Eventing Series Book 1 by Natalie Keller Reinert. I was reading the back, and this is an 8-book series. I don't have the strength, I don't have the time. It's just gonna have to move along. So if someone really does enjoy this series, because it is a beloved series already, so if you are a fan of this series and want an arc of the repackaged version, I have one. But I'll be unhauling this one as well. And in that same vein as series, this one is Chaos King by Kaysen Callender. I hope that's how I pronounce the author's name. This is book 2, sequel to Infinity Alchemist. So this is a sequel, and I just know that I am not going to go out currently and purchase Infinity Alchemist just so I can read Chaos King. The book does sound really good. I did read what Infinity Alchemist was about, and it did sound very interesting, but I just know that I'm not going to go out and purchase, so I will write the series down for a later date, but I'll be removing Chaos King from my unread arcs. It comes out in April 2025 if you are interested, so it's coming out pretty soon. So yeah, if you're looking for that sequel, it's coming out. And that is all of my physical arc TBR decluttered, and it now actually fits on my TBR bookcase. They're at the bottom currently. I will probably rearrange this a little bit, which is so nice. They fit. I have a whole empty shelf on another bookcase for like read books, which is amazing. I'm hoping that I can get through the nonfiction and my book box books and they can all kind of fit on this shelf, but that might be pushing my luck just a little bit. My new total with the maybes is now, I think, 51 books, which is amazing. We're getting closer to that 83, even with those maybes. So far, so good. I'm really proud that I am just kind of getting rid of some of these books that I know I'm not going to read right now or at all, and decluttering this physical TBR of mine. I do want to say thank you to the publishers and authors who have sent books or participated in YALLFest with books. I am very grateful for those that I have received over the years, and I do hope that they find a new home with someone who will enjoy them. Now I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and take a quick little break, grab some lunch, and then I will move the book box books over here as well. Do I do book box books or should we do nonfiction? Should we take a break from fiction? No, I'm on a fiction kick. Let's grab the rest of the fiction and then we can dive into nonfiction. I'm going to grab those, bring them over here as well, go through them, and see if we can dwindle the book box books. Plus, then there's some like special editions to share with people, so let's see which ones I'm interested in still. Moving on to the book box books, I think I counted 30-ish, somewhere in there. Ideally, it would be nice to get rid of maybe like half of those. Like, that's so many. But I don't know, now I'm like in the zone on like I want all of my TBR to fit on this one bookshelf. And I think I'm gonna have to like be really picky about what I keep and what I give away or sell, whatever. But there are some that I know I want to keep. So I'm gonna pull those first and then read through the rest of the summaries and see what ones I feel like I would read now, and if not now, over the next, few months. So let me pull those and then we'll see which ones I'm gonna unhaul. I'm having so much trouble right now. If you can see these, all the ones that you can see the pages are maybes. And some of them have such similar plot devices in them that I'm trying to decide, like, do I keep the one that sounds like the most like I want to read it right now and just unclutter all the other ones, declutter? Like, for instance, all three of these were, when I first started doing this, all three, I had already said Amber and Dusk I would like to keep. But as I'm going and reading through these summaries, all three of these, Amber and Dusk, Mirage, and Incendiary, all kind of have like a courtly plot. Like they're in the royal court and either trying to like find out secrets or find place at court. Like all different uses of that plot device, which I do love that plot device. I like a good like royal court story. But I just don't know if that's saving all of these. Like, I'm almost kind of now putting them in categories based on like a plot device that I enjoy, and then deciding like, do I pick one or two from each of the piles? Because all of these have something to do with like a royal court. I don't know. I'm struggling really hard with these. I might have to honestly maybe take a break and go to nonfiction, because I think nonfiction might be a little easier at this point. But just because I know that I haven't read any of these in so long, like, and some of these are from like the beginnings of Owlcrate. Like, I mean, Amber and Dusk. This isn't even the Owlcrate edition of Amber and Dusk. I bought this after the fact because I felt upset that I didn't get Amber and Dusk, which is weird. So, like, really this one should stay. Like, I bought that one after the fact. Mirage sounds good. It's kind of a little bit of like a Prince and the Pauper kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I feel like this video is going to be very, very long and hard to edit. I'm trying to decide. Should I do some reading tests? This is not the KonMari method right now. I've surpassed the KonMari method of holding on to the book and seeing if it sparks joy. Because these I just don't know. This one sounds good. I'm going to keep this one. This was one that I won in a giveaway on Tierra's channel. Immortal Longings by Chloe Gong. This one actually, even though it's like sci-fi-esque, this one does sound really good. So I am going to keep this one. Maybe I need to go about it that way. the ones that I know 100% sound really good, and I am actually looking forward to reading this one. Also, this cover is stunning, and our main character looks like a total badass. And she has a cat. I mean, so what can go wrong on that one? Maybe I need to start pulling ones that I am for sure excited about and then work with the ones I have left. I have to make it work. I have to make it work. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do these three. I'm going to unhaul these. First up, I have More Than We Can Tell by Bridget Kemmerer. There's another series from this author that I would like to read more than this book, and that is Letters to the Lost. That is on my personal book wish list. So I would like to read that, but this one isn't really holding my attention, so I'm going to go ahead and let this one go. Next one is The Sandcastle Empire. This is an OwlCrate book that was from, I think, probably the first year of OwlCrate. On the back, you kind of have some comparisons to The Maze Runner meeting Lost in a sci-fi thriller. Lost I enjoyed. I've had no desire to read The Maze Runner, really. And I don't know. I think if I had read it right when I had opened the box, I would have enjoyed it a lot more, and I just don't think it's going to be a book for me at this point in time. And finally, A Marvelous Light by Freya Marski. Forgive me for the pronunciation. I know a lot of people enjoy this book, and I think it's just going to be one that I write down and put to the side. I just don't think I'm going to read it anytime soon, and someone else can enjoy this absolutely stunning edition, because right now I think I'm keeping it more for the fact that it's really pretty on my shelf than wanting to read it right now. So I'm going to go ahead and put this one out for someone to grab. Okay, quick update on what I've kind of done with the BookBox books. Kind of reading through them again. I've put them into like piles based on, loosely based on genres, or or my idea of where they would go in that kind of like a trope or vibe. Anyway, you get where I'm going. So I have kind of like the Gothic or the Dark Academia, which I guess I could put Gothic and Dark Academia together. That could be like one pile. I have the Kingdom of Back by itself. I don't really have any other kind of like music, historical fiction, really. We have kind of books that have a sci-fi element over here. I have Lake's Edge, which I haven't even unwrapped, so that probably tells me I should just go ahead and unhaul it, because it's still in its wrapping. But I'm going to actually look up and see what that book's about. I haven't gotten there yet. Only a Monster, I wasn't sure where I wanted to put that one. I have kind of a grouping down here on a lower shelf of books that are, I would kind of put them more in the realm of like a YA high fantasy style book, just from what they're about, kind of like the adventure books or like a chosen one kind of situation. I have the books I'm planning on keeping right now. So I've kind of organized them in a fashion, and then I did do a recount, and it's 34 books. So if I want to get rid of the 25% and do it that way, so I'm like getting rid of 25% of this particular physical TBR of my BookBox books, I need to do 8.5 books, so either do 8 or 9. I'd round down, round up, whichever. I have 3, so I really only need to remove 5 more from the shelf. I've already done 3, so that's not too crazy. My problem is, I think with a lot of these, it's not that I don't want to read them, I just don't know when I'm going to be in the mood for them. So it makes it a little more difficult, because I'm reading them and I'm really like liking some of them. Some of them I am pulling, I'm like, I don't know if I'll read that one. It could go to a different home and someone else could enjoy it more. I'm having a few of these that are feeling like that. And I think that's kind of what it is. These ones are going to be more of like, what am I going to read sooner rather than later, compared to, is that not my cup of tea anymore? Because even though a lot of them are YA, I still like a good academic vibe. I like the Dark Academia. I do like my royal courts political intrigue, so I have a few of those, but those are a few of the bigger categories, so I'm kind of like, which of those am I going to read sooner? Which ones sound the most like I want to pick them up now? This TBR, as you can see, it's overwhelming, at least for me and where I'm at in life right now, and I feel like I've said that a couple of times in this video. I'm overwhelmed AF. And I need to definitely declutter my space. I need to do the whole decluttering your space declutters your mind. So even if I am interested in the book and the plot, if I'm not going to read it this year or close to this year, it just needs to go ahead and go. And I hate that, but I know that it needs to happen, and I just have to like put on my big girl pants and do it. So I think what I'm going to do is, for some of these bigger categories that have maybe over 3 or 4 books, I'm going to just choose like 1 or 2, and the rest are just going to have to go. Alright, number 4 of the book box books that I am unhauling, I'm going with Only a Monster by Vanessa Len. This one doesn't quite draw me in as much as some of the other ones, and I also took to Goodreads just to see what maybe some of my friends thought of it. While it didn't have bad reviews, most were like a 5-star, and then most were like 4 stars, with I think maybe 1 3-star out of people that I'm friends with on Goodreads. It's also the first in a trilogy, and that just is going to add even more books to the TBR, if that makes sense. Like, I would have to then, if I did enjoy this, add 2 more books. So I'm just going to call it. I'm going to write this one down because it does intrigue me a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and unhaul this because I feel like it's almost like I'm unhauling 3 books. Like, I don't have to worry about reading an entire series at this point in time. So Only a Monster by Vanessa Len is leaving the TBR. Next one I am unhauling is going to be Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. This was from Illumicrate, I believe. I believe this one was Illumicrate. It does have all the little bits in it, the signed book plate. This is a special one though. It was bound upside down. So when you take the dust jacket off, the cover is upside down. So if you're into that, I'm going to have it on Pango at some point. Just be aware, and there will be pictures that the book is bound upside down, which is kind of really, I think the only reason I was keeping it was it kind of was like a special edition. The plot doesn't truly like grab my attention that much. It does have a heist, so if heists are your thing, but this one just overall I'm not vibing with, so I'm going to go ahead and move on, though it is a beautiful edition, so grab this one out of my shop when you can. But that is number 5 leaving. So if I can get at least 3 more off the shelf, I'll feel good. Let's talk through these 3, and maybe you guys can give me a little bit of advice on them and let me know if you think I'll enjoy these, because they are the science fiction group. I have 3 of them. They're all very different plot-wise, but they do all have that sci-fi element, and since I'm never really sure with my sci-fi, I'm going to let you all help me out. We have The Ones We're Meant to Find, which I believe is a little more of like a dystopian sci-fi, kind of saving the planet, that kind of thing. We have Iron Widow, which I know is a book a lot of people enjoy, and it does sound absolutely fantastic. I love the badass women vibes of this one, along with the mecha science fiction stuff. So that one does intrigue me quite a bit. And then Goddess in the Machine, which I did unhaul earlier when I was going through the arcs, because I did have a second copy. Here it is. This one has also a little bit of like a palace-y kind of royal intrigue as well. But which ones do I want to read now? If I had to pick one of these now, I think I would pick Iron Widow. If I was going to pick one of these 3, I love how just talking it out on camera like helps make decisions. It's crazy how that works. But I think if I had to absolutely pick one to read right now, I think it would be Iron Widow. And then if I had to pick another one, both of these plot-wise are kind of on an even playing field for me, I feel. but I think I might like this one a little bit more. Also, this cover is just beautiful. So maybe for now we keep these two. Maybe we let Goddess in the Machine just go in both my ARC and my hardcover. Maybe it's just not one that I'm just feeling. Yeah, we're gonna let this one go. We're gonna keep the other two for now, and we're gonna let this one go. So that will be number 6 in the Unhaul. So if we can get to 2 more, I'll have my 25% of my BookBox books gone, which will make up a bit of space, but we'll see if we can get more after that. But 2 more, and I will have unhauled 25%, which is good. Also, just in case anyone's curious, in my keeping pile right now, I have A River Enchanted, The Book Eaters, Immortal Longings, Iron Widow, The Ones We're Meant to Find, and Spin the Dawn. This is currently my keep pile, so I got 6 in this pile. I have 6 and 6. 6 I'm keeping, 6 I am parting with. Let's do these. Let's talk through these ones. This is gonna, I feel like this one's gonna be a longer section of this video, so like buckle up everybody. These ones are my more like palace intrigue. Similar to like Little Thieves, they had a palace element or some kind of court, royal court. So this one in Mirage, we have our main character. It looks almost identical to the very hated princess, and so she is the princess's body double, and she basically is just forced into this role, and she just has to play the princess to perfection is what it says, or it could lead to her death. Interesting. I mean, I'm not mad about that. It looks like there might be some moments with the princess's fiance, so it could be a little romance in this one. I'm not exactly sure. Then this one had also Amber and Dusk, which I honestly was planning on keeping. This one, she has a type of magic. She can create illusions, and basically she makes a wager with the Empress of the court, and she just has to basically find her place in court and make it seem like she's supposed to be there, kind of thing, I believe is the premise of this one. Which I like that too. That one sounds good. It has a little magic in this one. So we have some magic in this one, not as much in this one. And then we have Incendiary, which I think is also magic. She is a memory thief. So this one also has magic as well. And she ends up like causing the death of like hundreds of her people. Grows up, ends up being part of the rebel spies, and eventually has to come back, I guess, to the palace. I think if I was gonna choose, like I said, like if I was gonna choose right now, out of these 3, I don't know, like Mirage and Amber in the Dusk are the ones that are calling to me. These ones are calling me. Incendiary sounds good, but for some reason these 2 in particular I think I like a little bit more. I think it's more of that they're being placed into court. One has magic, one doesn't, so it's a little bit of a mix of both, but I think I'm gonna let this one go. It's also heavy. Not that that has anything to do with it. Yeah, I think I'm gonna unhaul Incendiary, book number 7 in the unhaul of the book boxes. Oh, that means we have 1 more to do, and then after that I can call it quits if I would like, or I can keep going, so we'll see how I feel, but this is book 7. Let's go ahead and see if I can make any kind of dent in these books. I have my Dark Academia theme for these 3 books, and I'm thinking that I need to unhaul at least one of these, because I do have some other Dark Academia books already on the TBR that isn't a book box book. I feel like it's kind of right to go through these and see which one grabs my attention quite a bit and see if we can unhaul one of them. I have tried A Lesson in Vengeance. I have read a little bit. I think I read the first like couple chapters and it wasn't really grabbing my attention, but I didn't give it a full fair shot probably. The other 2 I have not even touched, and that's The Devil Makes 3 and The Whispering Dark. Now, if I was going to make a choice based on cover buy, if I was going to pick one just based on covers, I would probably lean towards either The Devil Makes 3 or The Whispering Dark. I love a floral cover, as we know. Am I going to read this one? I have tried it. I've given it a little taste test. It does sound interesting though. But maybe I unhaul it and give it a chance at a later date. These ones, we have a devil situation. I don't know if we have I don't know if it's a Faustian. I don't think we have a deal. Well, maybe we would. I don't know. Release a devil from his book-bound prison, and he'll stop at nothing to stay free. Manipulating all the ink in the library books to do his bidding. See, this one sounds kind of fun. Like, it's kind of feels like it would be a good mix of dark academia and maybe like a black comedy kind of thing. Like, it feels like it could be a little funny. I think I would like this one more than this one. So right now, The Devil Makes Three is the first pick. This one I'm also intrigued by because our main character is Death. So that is a different kind of main character that you don't see that often. And so I am kind of interested in that, how that takes on in this book and how that brings about character growth. So that could be interesting. I'm thinking maybe we keep these two. We're going with A Lesson of Vengeance by Victoria Lee. This one is leaving us, and that makes 8. So we have hit the 25, well, 8.5. So really we're like just under the 25% goal for BookBox books specifically. Do we try to find one more, or do we leave it at this one? Is the question. I'm going to take a quick look through the other ones that I really haven't talked through, and we'll see if I can find one more. Let me know about this one. This is The Beloveds by Maureen Lindley. I'm not sure about this one. This is 100% a maybe. The only line, currently the line that is saving this book for me from being an unhaul is, with the help of copious amounts of gin, a clutch of poisoned mushrooms, and a decidedly peculiar dog, Betty single-mindedly pursues a plan to see the estate returned to her in all its glory, until her determined and increasingly unhinged behavior escalates to the point of no return. That line about copious amounts of gin, poisoned mushrooms, and a peculiar dog is saving this book for me. Let me know if you've read it. What did you think about it? And do you think I'll like it? Let me know. But I did find number 9. I have not even opened this book. I have not even taken the wrapper off of Lake's Edge by Lyndall Clipstone. It sounds fine. It sounds like it would be interesting, but the fact that I haven't even bothered to unwrap this book, to me, says that I'm not really that interested in it. I usually unwrap these right away, and I didn't do that with this one. What does that tell me? It tells me I'm not that interested and that I should probably unhaul it. Lake's Edge is going to be number 9. And I think the final book, I think this is it. I think we're going to do that 25%. We hit the full 25% mark of 8.5 or 9 books. And this will be the last of the BookBox books that I'm going to be decluttering today. With Lake's Edge, that means that I have finished off the physical TBR for the fictional books, and all that I have left on the physical TBR to look at and declutter from is my nonfiction, which it feels pretty darn good, if I do say so. So I'm going to pull all of the nonfiction down, just like with these. I'm going to put these back on their shelf. We're almost done with this declutter, and it's feeling pretty good. It's feeling really good, actually. And I'm back. One more. I just put back all the BookBox books, and everything fit on one shelf but one book. So because there was one more book that I was feeling a little unsure about, I'm just going to go for it, and I'm going to also unhaul A Forgery of Roses. It sounds interesting. I am intrigued by the portrait painting premise, but I don't know. There's something telling me it's a wishy-washy one for me. And so I'm going to go with my gut. I'm going to go ahead and unhaul it. And now all of my BookBox TBR fit on one shelf. It feels so good. Like I could not have one somewhere else. So there they are. And this one's going in the unhaul pile as well, making for a total of 10 BookBox books leaving my shelves. I have now got all the nonfiction down, and I have organized them based somewhat on what they are about. Let's get into it. I have done a numbers game for this as well. I'm starting with 38 books. So my 25%, if I was going to be getting rid of 25% of my nonfiction, it would be 10 books. 50% is going to be 19 books. What I think I'm going to do first is, my goal for this year is 6 nonfiction books. Last year it was 12, and the year before that it was 12, and I didn't hit either of those goals, so I'm lowering it to 6. So what I'm going to do right now is pull the 6 books off this shelf that I think would be the ones that I would lean towards the most, and then I can declutter the rest of them and do it that way. I'm going to try to make it a mix from different categories on what I would want to read. I'm giving myself a little more wiggle room when it comes to these, as I don't have as many nonfiction compared to all my fiction books, but also I gained a lot of nonfiction in a short amount of time from some arcs and things, and I really don't need all of these because I don't know when I'm going to find the time to read them, really. But I'm going to pull the 6 that I think I want to focus on this year, and we'll go from there. Well, I think I'm going to keep this one. This is John Edward crossing over the stories behind the stories. I think this is actually a behind the scenes look at his TV show. And I'm only kind of keeping this, one, because my mom was reading it. I'm not sure when she stopped reading it, because there's a bookmark in here that I apparently made her, a magnetic bookmark that must have been a school project. Doesn't even like separate anymore. I don't want to like mess it up. But anyway, it was in here and now I'm all kinds of emotional. It said, has like a little flower. If you can see that. It has a little flower with some like roots and hearts and roses on this side. It says, I love you, with my name on it for her. And it just says, moms are so wonderful, moms are so fine, and the best mom of all is the one I call mine. So, I don't know, now I kind of feel like I want to read this one. So, this one's going back on the shelf. I kind of like the color scheme of this one, so maybe I'll keep that one too. And I will donate these two. So, Heaven and Earth, Making Psychic Connections from James Van Praagh, and Talking to Heaven, also James Van Praagh. So, both of these are by the same guy. I know nothing about him, but I do recognize the John Edward one, and I think I'll just read it because my mom was reading it. So, these two are going to be unhauled. Alright, I have some autobiographies here. I think I'm going to keep all of these, except for the F. Scott Fitzgerald. I do enjoy F. Scott Fitzgerald. I've enjoyed most of the books that I've read. A couple, one of them not so much. But I've had the autobiography, a short autobiography, for a while, and I just don't know if I'm going to ever read it truly. So I'm just going to go ahead and unhaul this one. The other two are In Pieces from Sally Field, and then Homework, which is another memoir of Julie Andrews. I enjoyed her first one, and I do want to read this one. So I'm going to keep a hold on to these. I probably will actually listen to the audiobooks, but I do want to keep them. So I have 7 more for my 25%. I do have these books. My mom loved Mary Queen of Scots, and she enjoyed learning about the feud between Elizabeth and Mary. So these are all of her books. I bought these for her. Well, specifically these ones. I don't know. This one's The Life of Queen Victoria, but I bought her these two. I wouldn't mind reading it because I did watch Reign. If you watched Reign, that is about Mary Queen of Scots, or Mary Stuart. And I honestly would. It would be interesting to read. So I might keep these for myself. I'm not as interested in Queen Victoria. Is this like Victoria and Albert Queen Victoria? It is. So maybe I would. V&A, the Victoria Opera Museum, is one of my favorite museums in London, but I don't actually know much about Queen Victoria. So do I want to keep these two? Don't know if I'll read them, to be honest. I'm more likely to read the Mary Queen of Scots one. And to be honest, pretty much just the Mary Queen of Scots one. I don't know if because I feel like this would cover some of the feud between her and Mary. So I'm going to go ahead and unhaul The Life of Queen Victoria. My mom was reading this. I'm finding all of her bookmarks in all of these. So she got 8 pages into this one. So she has a Sagittarius bookmark from a artist at Anime Weekend Atlanta. So she actually had started reading this one. Yeah, see, there we go. There's Mary. That mentions Mary. So this is the one about them together. Does this one have any section about their feud? Yeah, it does. I think I'm just going to go ahead and keep just The True Life of Mary Stuart, Queen of Scots, and go ahead and unhaul both of these because I do not need them. So these two are going into the unhaul pile, which means we only need one more book to get to the 10. I feel like unhauling nonfiction is a lot easier. The question is, now that I've dwindled it a little bit, as much as I think it would be interesting, am I going to read it? I'm talking about But Will You Love Me Tomorrow? I do not read biographies. I don't read nonfiction, honestly, that much at all. So the fact that I am dwindling this down immensely is a really good thing. It gives me less to choose from, and I can be a bit more, like, I'm keeping for sure the ones that I would like to read. I'm more of a self-help book girly rather than biographies and stuff. These two I do sound interesting though. These for sure I want to keep. The Badass Librarians of Timbuktu and Book of Queens. those really, like, I wanted to read those. I would like to read the Linkin Park one, whether I have to get the audiobook. This one does sound interesting. I do like the fact that they're, like, directly talking about them, but in my brain I'm thinking, is there going to be a musical made down the line about some of these groups? I mean, there is actually some musicals already about them. I'm probably not going to. Maybe I'll listen to it. If it has an audiobook. If it has an audiobook, I'll listen to it. Because I'm guessing that they probably would have tried to, if they could, get people actual sound bites. Because it really is soundbite based, which part of me likes and part of me doesn't like. If you look, these are all like little sound bites from different people. So that part, I don't know if I'm going to like that setup. So if they do have an audio, I think I'd like it better. So we are actually going to unhaul, but Will You Love Me Tomorrow? I'm going to go ahead and unhaul this one as well. I have unhauled all of the spots that had physical TBR books, which is fantastic. It only took me like 2 days. And now I'm going to go add up all my numbers and see how we did. See if I hit that 25% overall goal for my physical TBR of decluttering 25%. The goal is 50% by the end of the year, but that is a mix of like reading, unhauling, DNF, all of the above. So if I can only have like 25% left to accomplish, that would be amazing. So I'm going to run the numbers and get my totals, and I'll be right back. So now the final numbers, I did not hit 25%. I honestly didn't think I was, and I didn't think I'd get as close as I did. So my total for the unhaul books, the books that I am definitely getting rid of, was 61. 61 books have left my physical TBR, which is amazing, and I cannot wait to go through Libib, Libib, is that how we say that website? And go through and delete those off of my physical TBR category, my shelf. So I'm very excited about that. We have 10 total maybes. So I'm going to wait for feedback from all of you. So if any of those books that I needed some help on that I wasn't sure about, let me know what you think. But if I do unhaul those next, that'll give me 10 more. So it would have been, if we include everything together, it's 71 out of 83. That's 85% of my goal. That's a B. It's passing. And that's honestly all I could ask for at this point. So, but 61 books are for sure leaving. We'll see if any of these maybes make the cut and make their way back to the shelf. I currently have no room. My shelves are perfect. Each one has enough space on it for the books that are already here, and then I have one shelf that has all my BookBox books. So honestly, part of me just wants to like forget about these that are here. But I know I can't do that. But I do have some space on my other bookshelves now that the arcs are on this shelf. But I was so close to fitting everything on one shelf, but it's okay. By the end of the year, that's the goal. All the TBR is going to be on one bookcase. Stay tuned. Thanks for hanging out with me while I talked my way through these books. If you hung out this long, because I'm sure this video is going to be lengthy, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Please like this video. If you have stuck around this long and are not subscribed, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button and join me for some sprints or for some other videos, TBR games, and the like. And I will see you all soon. So take care, everyone. Happy reading, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.